Your AEM Chrome extension. So if you want to configure your AEM Chrome extension, you can head to www.brianlee.ca where you'll see this UI. With this UI, you can set up your configuration as developer mode versus not developer mode. So what's the difference about this is that when you set up developer mode, you can actually go into the developer environments and also to your local environments. If you have this disabled, then you're only going to be seeing production and stage. And down here, this is website entries. So you can add a new website here. You can add up to 20, I think it's 25 websites. So in this case, you can use all the latest features for what I just showed you on the other video series. And in this case, it would be working as expected for 20 different websites. The JSON output is actually going to be the configuration that you would have to copy and paste it into your AEM Chrome extension, which I'm going to show you later on in this series. So this AEM Chrome extension actually allows multiple dispatcher formats. So in this case, I tested it out with all these different domains. And in this case, you can actually see the different patterns. So for the weekend website, you can actually see that they have a pattern of the host name and then slash country and then slash lowercase language. For Canada, Canada.com or sorry, Canada.ca, they have slash en, which is just the language itself in lowercase. And then you have Nvidia.ca. In this case, they have slash language lowercase dash country lowercase. And then for Microsoft.com, they have slash lowercase language dash lowercase country. And then for Apple, they have slash country. And then for experience.adobe.com, they have only slash language. So let's talk about the supporting configurations for the AEM Chrome extension. If anyone needs any other supports, let me know and I can add that into the features. So in this case, you can actually see that we have 4 configurations that we can allow for this Google Chrome extension. And in this case, you can actually see that you can let the AEM Chrome extension know that you have a custom country slash language combination. So what that means is if you take a look at your dispatcher URL, in this case, you can actually see that if your URL is using, a different combination, for example, slash lowercase country slash lowercase language. So how you configure that is you put slash and then in handlebars lower underscore country and then slash lower underscore lang. It's wrapped around with handlebars, if you can see this. If your website is actually formatted with uppercase country dash lowercase language, in this case, you can actually see that I'm wrapping it with slash upper underscore country and then dash lower underscore lang. And then similarly, we have lowercase lang dash uppercase country. So lower underscore lang dash upper country. And then finally, we have uppercase lang dash uppercase country. So upper underscore lang dash upper country. And if your website only supports languages, for example, just slash en or slash fr, that's supported as expected. Or if your AEM website only has country, then in this case, that's supported as well. In this case, we also have some toggles to enable the dispatcher routing to ensure that, when we route it back to the dispatcher URL, does it have a .html extension or not? And then in this case, we also have an option to include a trailing and slash whenever we are switching between your dispatcher URLs to your author URLs and then back to your dispatcher URLs. Okay, so when you have your configuration complete, then what you would do is that you're just going to click on your Chrome extension and then click on this settings, and then you're going to paste in all the configurations that you get from brianlee.ca. So in this case, you can see it. Yep, that's all you'd have to do. Paste it and then click on save and go. So without further ado, let's go into the demo. So this is brianlee.ca, and this is the AEM Chrome extension configuration generator. So what you see here is I actually have the weekend site configured. So this is gonna be the domain of the website. So if I go to the weekend project, you can actually see that there's no www. It's just weekend.site. So that's why I have configured it with weekend.sites. For the site root, okay, let me duplicate this tab and let me go into the site structure for this page. So as you can see, the root page is actually weekend. It's just weekend. So if I go into the Chrome extension, you can see I put weekend here. And then if you look at the dispatcher URL for the weekend project, so here you can actually see that it's lowercase country / lowercase lang. So here I put / lowercase country / lower lang, and you can actually see that all the format options are here. The default language I usually put EN, and then for the default country US. This dispatcher URL has .html extension, so I enable that. It doesn't have /, so I'll leave that alone. For the author environments, here I have production, staging, development, and logo. And that's how you configure your environments. That's how it finds out where your environments are. And then for the dispatcher URLs, we need production URL, which is the site itself with HTTPS, staging, dev, and logo. And that's pretty much it. So once when you configure this, you would just have to copy and then go into the Chrome extension. And then here you would click in settings, paste it in, press OK, and you should have your AEM environment configured. At the same time, if you want to make some changes to your configurations, you can just go into your settings, and then after that, you would have to just paste in the configurations here, and then now you can start making changes. And when you start making changes, then you can share it with your friends. You can generate a passphrase if you want to, and then you can share it here with your colleagues, and then they can put in a password, which is the secret phrase. And then now you can share the configuration, and you can also reconfigure the configuration as expected. And that's how you do it. So give this a try and let me know. I will try to produce more documentation, but at the moment, this is just going to be a video documentation. That's it. Thank you for watching.